Welcome to Spiritual Rebirth Tarot. I'm Madelyn. So nice to have you here. And today we'll be doing the reading for the air signs for the week of the 22nd to, is it about the 28th of November. So as we look at that time period that's going on, let's look at the 3 air signs. Now, this may be in your sun, moon, Venus, in your astrology chart. If you don't resonate with the message, try one of your other signs and see how that goes. In the extended, we'll be looking at each of the individual signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And we're looking at some of the archetype, wild unknown archetype cards. So here in this reading, let's ask for divine guidance today. Okay, so let's begin with a oracle card here. And take a look at the Angels and Oracles. It's one of my favorite decks. And as for this time period, who is coming forward for the air signs to help you, lead you, and guide you at this time? So this week, we will have Thanksgiving in it. It's a very hard week for a lot of people. It's a time when a lot of people are lost, loved ones. And then also, it's a time when a lot of us will have loss because we can't get together with our loved ones because COVID has been cracked down a lot more. The coronavirus. We have a lot more crackdown. I know in my state, they've pretty much closed everything again. And it's a really hard time for a lot of people. On the other hand, Thanksgiving, it's a great time to really remember to be gracious, to be grateful, and to be, attentive and thankful for the things that we have. So it'll be easy to look at the things we don't have, maybe large family gatherings, maybe the food that we want. On the other hand, we can look at the positive things, and hopefully that will be really helpful. So let's take a look at the deck here. We'll put some Reiki energy into the deck, ask for a specific card to guide us in the energies for the air signs. Okay, so the card we got is the Druid. I love this card. I love how he's holding the staff that has the gem on it, the clear quartz. It's kind of, when the clear quartz has been cut like that, it can kind of help to transmute energies. So it can be a very positive crystal, hold the space. And so there's so many times when the space that we're in just needs to be held. So being an air sign, it's really easy to kind of be on the go, trying to figure out, what you are to do next, a lot of activity and energy. And this card is kind of saying for this week, stand quietly, hold that space, be the space holder in other people's lives. So let me take a look at the description for this card, the Druid. Hold things together. Don't make any sudden moves or changes. Stand strong, knowing you are where you're supposed to be. So air signs for this coming week, don't make any rash decisions or big changes. Try to keep things kind of going smoothly in the direction that you need. So it says, when the Druid appears in a reading, you're being guided to dig deep within and hold your station. If you're wondering what to do next or have a sense of anxiety about what is unfolding in your life, It's time to shift your perspectives and move back to a state of trust. I know that right now, there's a lot of things in my personal life that I'm really struggling with, having a lot of anxiety over. And so this is the perfect message for me, and hopefully for you guys as well, that we need to change our perspective and step back into a state of trust. And you know, I was just talking about how Thanksgiving is going to be so hard for people, and so many people, we're going to have to change our perspective in order to help the numbers go back down and have a different way of looking at things during this particular stage of the effects of the virus in the nation. And you know, it may not affect us personally. I do know now 2 people who have died, you know, with COVID as, you know, one of the main contributors. So it certainly is not something that is nothing. So I think for a lot of years, you know, we looked at the common flu as something you might get and something you might die from. And you'd get the vaccine to hopefully help to avoid that. So with Corona, you know, it's something you might get, something you might die from. There isn't a vaccine at this point. But I think what it's starting to help us realize is there are things we can do in our lives, there are ways we can look at our lives to help us respond to these things and to meet other people's needs. It's not so much about, you know, are you going to get infected or how's it going to affect you, but will you cause someone else to be infected who it could be a real detriment for? And so I think it's helping us to open our eyes to the other people around us and their needs. With things shutting down again, a lot of people are going to be in a lot of need financially. And, you know, everyone talks about food, and, oh, if you need food, I'll help you. The realistic thing is the schools are giving out food for free. The food banks are giving out food for free. Food stamps are available to just about anybody who has some kids and needs a little bit of help. Even people that don't have kids. There's a lot of places to get food, but there's a lot of other things that people do need that they're not being able to have help with. Maybe it's paying their basic bills that month. And a lot of those kind of things are a lot harder to deal with even than food. And so at this time, in this time of giving, giving, you know, what we have to other people and to help them feel like they're not alone. So think of a tree. It has strong roots, yet continues to grow and bear fruit. Your life will be a reflection of this. Don't change your plans or do anything drastic. Just trust in the process and let everything happen as it needs to before taking any more steps. Okay, so air signs, as much as you don't like to hold still, this is the week of holding still, holding your own, and seeing where things lead. So that is the message from the Angel and Ancestors deck. And any of the decks that I offer are listed below in the description, the ones that I use, and you can use the link if you're interested in any of them. The underneath, trust your talents in changing times, is the Fox Spirit. And so it kind of, to me, is the same message that, you know, trust. So even when things seem difficult, change your perspective and trust. You know, trust that you have what it takes to handle the situation at hand. Okay, so let's take a look at the tarot for your message. And so let's ask for recent, past, present, and future. Recent, future. Soon to be future. So the tarot that I'm going to use here is the Guardians of the Night. I really enjoy the energies in this tarot. The lady who created this MJ Cullinane, she's really great. She's a beautiful reader. She creates her own artwork as well as writing up about the different cards, and so much of personal nature to what she does. Okay, so past, present, and future. We'll put some Reiki energy into the deck for guidance. King of Wands, Three of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, it's a beautiful. The King of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. Really beautiful grouping. And Three of Pentacles underneath with strength. Okay, so the major theme of this week, beyond like, holding your own, and that's kind of what this strength card is, holding your own in the face of, it almost looked like the two of them were fighting over who gets to eat that heart. But do they both even eat hearts? I mean, I think the snake wouldn't mind eating the heart. But the imagery of this card is that the snake is resisting its urge to eat the mouse, and the mouse is resisting its urge to run. And so both of them are using strength of will, strength of character to resist their urge to do what they normally would do. And that's perfect for this, for your air signs to have to stand still this week. It's something that you normally wouldn't do, just to stand still and see what happens. And you won't have to do that alone. Three of Pentacles really points to all of us working together in that process. So as you're going through this stage with the strength and the not having to do it alone. Okay, so the past comes to us, the recent past, the King of Wands. So you have been thinking a lot about your passions, your desires, where you'd like to head. You've been kind of sitting in the knowledge that, and understanding things more clearly. And that's kind of what the crow is about. Crows don't normally sit on lions. But I think in this case, the crow is a metaphysical entity that's coming and kind of interacting with the crown chakra of the lion. And so this, this male lion, this male energy, strength of character and will is sitting here and is having that ability to understand things more clearly and see things more clearly. So in the past, you have been mulling things over, getting new ideas and new directions and new focus, but at the same time kind of creating more of a maturity about that, and kind of a focus and a directionality. And as you are beginning to focus your energies, some things in your life will bring a lot of like pain or sadness, not knowing where things are headed. For some reason I'm being drawn to this feather at the bottom. And there are many times when if someone has died and you're going through the Three of Swords, that feather comes to you as a message from them saying, I'm here, I've been here. Pay attention to me. I have a message for you before I leave. And with all the chains down below, it's kind of like you're being held away from that, or you're having a hard time connecting to that energy. And so in this card, I think it goes perfectly with what I was talking about, because I was saying that right now, with the time of Thanksgiving, a lot of people will be losing loved ones and dealing with grief. A lot of people will be dealing with grief, not being able to get together with their families like they normally do. So many different ways that grief is going to come into our lives. And so this present week, you know, there's a real potential for grief. But having that the guardian angel, the somebody coming to you and saying, hey, I'm here. You know, don't grieve me too much, because I'm still here and I want to be part of your life, and not to let the chains of all the things in life that hold us down keep you away from those energies. And so as you go through the time of grief and sadness in the present, then in the near future, we'll be led into a time of change in the Wheel of Fortune. And I love how she put the 4 owls. Of course, I really enjoy owls. But, you know, she put the 4 owls in here to kind of help us look at going, you know, having wisdom in the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. And so as we focus our energies toward the north, south, east, and west, you know, some of the things we want to go towards, some of the things we want to go away. See which direction is calling you this week, air sign. Which direction is calling you, so that in the week to come, you know, in the future weeks, as this change, this divine timing wheel begins to turn in your life. So you're stagnant this week, holding and waiting, and then things will begin to turn. Well, which direction do you need to go? North, south, east, and west. You know, the wisdom is being given to you in all those directions, but which direction are you supposed to turn? So I feel really impressed to bring up the oracle from the Shaman, and they're all about. In fact, the Wind card, which, you know, air signs, the Wind card is all about the directions and the 4 directions. And so what I want to do is I want to pull a card for each of the directions. And then as I do that, I want you to think about your energies. And so for this coming week, which one of these cards is going to point to your heart? Which one resonates with you energetically? And that's the direction that you need to move in. And in the Shaman deck, excuse me, the 4 directions, north, north has to do with wisdom and strength, which is like the strength card we got, the wisdom and strength. And going south has to do with trust, discard old habits and things that are no longer needed. So south is kind of things that you can let go of. North is things that you can grab onto to help you with wisdom and strength. Going over to the west is more of an introspection and letting go of attachments. And the east, so letting go of things from the east that are inside your heart, which reminds me that, you know, the new moon in Scorpio, which is November 15, really is about looking deep inside. And then the east carrying vision and purpose. So kind of like the north and the east are the things that we move toward with vision and purpose, wisdom and strength. Well, to me, in this case, what this is pointing to is that all 4 directions are going to give us some wisdom. And so I'm going to pull out a card for each of these directions. Okay, the north is the spiral. The west is the arrow. The east is the child. And the south is the moon. Underneath is the eagle. So kind of flying above, just see all this. Any direction you go is okay. But which one is going to resonate the most with you? So here's the first picture. So take some time, take some deep breaths. See if this resonates with you. The card is the, in numerology, is a 5 card, which is about change and growth and direction. So does the spiral connect with you? Does the arrow connect with you? The arrow is, in numerology, is the 3. So connection with others. Does the arrow connect with you? Does the child connect with you? The inner child? Really grasping that inner child into your heart. Or does the moon connect with you? Okay, so then I'm going to look at the moon is the 10, which is the 1, and the child is the 7. So I'm going to look at the spiral. So if you connected with the spiral, the message for you this week is from galaxies in the sky to diminutive shells on the beach. The spiral is found extensively in the natural world. Its shape in the form of a coiled serpent has been used since ancient times as a tool for growth and transformation. The spiral is a guide for entering deep into one's consciousness and the unknown, and then extending far out to the heavens. It is crucial to surrender to this journey until the exhausted paradigm dissolves in the depths of the psyche and its energy is released to give birth to a new reality. So I think what this card is telling you is not too long ago, we went through the new moon of Scorpio, and that as we pass through those energies, we are being led through the spiral to kind of a deeper understanding of ourselves. And so, in the last week and going into this week, a lot of the energies and the focus for you will be on this transformation and growth. So being connected to the spiral this week, you're being connected to kind of a rebirth, a regeneration that's happening, and a change that's occurring within this spiral. It's a movement that's happening. So now we were talking about, it's important to kind of be stagnant this week and to not make a lot of changes. And so it might be that more like a lily, you're sitting in the water, putting your roots down to get nutrients from the mucky water below. And so you're sitting as a lily, you're still in transformation from the muck to the beauty, but you're doing it in a very quiet, calm, and waiting type of manner. Kind of also like a butterfly does inside of a cocoon. From the outside, you just see the cocoon sitting there for a few weeks. On the inside, a lot of transformation is happening. So for some of you, the spiral is coming in, they're saying the change is occurring, the change is happening, It may not be something that's seen very clearly, but it is occurring inside of you. So the second card, the Arrow, if you're being drawn to the Arrow this week, receiving the symbol reminds you that when you are in alignment with your heart and soul, so when you are in alignment with yourself, and then you will have a good feeling, a happy feeling, knowing that you are really on the right path and the right target. You are on target and will soon be hitting your mark. Be true to your calling. Release attachments and free yourself from the bondage of unbridled ambition. Now is revealed to be a moment of contact in which your intention meets the material world. The arrow also symbolizes the need to set your creativity free. So when you're in true alignment with yourself and that true happiness comes, the law of attraction says that that's when manifestation occurs, when the arrow hits the mark. And so as the arrow is hitting the mark, know that a lot of creativity and new directions and new focus in your life will come into being. And so if you were brought to the child, the message for you, so if you're being drawn to the card, the child card, and you know, it's interesting, this card has moons in it. This card kind of has the shape of the moon in it. There's definitely the circular here, and then this one is the moon. So all of them kind of have this element, this circular element going along with this wheel of fortune in the future. So the child comes to you, and the child says, the child knows the way to joy and happiness. And so once we get to joy and happiness in our heart, that's when these beautiful things begin to manifest into our life. The child offers the return of a second innocence, a time born of wisdom and not of naivety. This child allows you to correct your course and offers you a second chance. It brings the possibility of redemption and entering heaven while on earth. So the child inside of you, as you go through the dark night of the soul, as you do your shadow work, especially in this time of when we're moving away from Scorpio, but still, is somewhat in these energies of the new moon. And as we're dealing with these deep secrets and these the childhood secrets inside of us, and the heartaches and the pain, and the interesting thing is that you can have been raised in, like a wonderful environment. You could have everything you've ever wanted as a child, and someone else would look at you and say, what kind of childhood work do you need to do? And yet you have always been afraid of rejection, or there's something inside of you from your childhood that can come bursting out that you need to heal and take care of. And I really feel that as parents, we don't have to be worried about our children having pain and suffering in their lives if that is the life that they have chosen. So we want to give our children the best life possible, and at the same time not get discouraged or upset if we or someone else are part of the problem to them that they're going to need to heal from. Because, obviously we shouldn't in any way try to make their life anything but excellent. But at the same time, we're the ones making our own decisions, and they're the ones making their decisions. And we can't take responsibility for their childhood. So if you're being drawn to this card, there are different aspects of the childhood that will be important to you during this time. And the child really can lead you to a lot of play and happiness in your life. So if you're being drawn to the moon, which is kind of like the phases of the energies, the beginning to the end. And so it's 37. My dog is getting happy. Something. Coo Bear! Okay. So the moon. Let's see what the message is for the moon. Every 38 days, the moon manifests a steady progression from darkness to light and then back again. This phenomenon in our skies has a powerful impact on our human psyche. It offers us the certainty that after periods of emptiness and darkness, there is a light waiting so we can be reborn into a new phase. This calls to mind Native African prayer to the moon. May our lives be renewed as yours is. So that's a great mantra to have at the time of the moon. May our lives be renewed as yours is. So may we follow through the energies of the moon. The moon also has a strong influence on the ebb and flow of the waters on the earth. This power, in turn, affects human beings and emotions and mirrors the rising from or heading back into the unconscious. And so as the moon actually can have an effect on us because we are mostly water, and it tends to pull on water in the gravitational forces. And so as the moon is pulling on us, it kind of makes our emotions kind of in a wave coming and going. And so understanding the energies of the moon is really important to you. So those who picked the moon as what you're being drawn to, follow the cycles of the moon and see how do the cycles of the moon affect you. So for me, the next live reading on the moon that's coming up is the full moon at the end of the month. I think it's the 30th. And so that will bring a lot of new clarity and direction into our lives. So please tell me in the comments which one of these cards resonated with you the most. I'd love to hear that and to know how this reading resonated with you, air signs. So remember, the overall message of this week is to stand still and wait and know that in this energy of holding the space, things will come to you that need to come at this time. The strength of character and will be transformed inside of you, and you will be led with wisdom into one of these new directions. Okay, so in the extended of this video, there's a link below called the Vimeo link for the extended. You can click on that, and we'll be looking at the archetype deck, and we'll look at Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, each separately, and which card comes up for the archetype for this coming week, and some way that you will be continued to guide along this same storyline. Thank you for coming to the reading. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I'll see you at the extended.